But you might not know this, but we have 2 visitor centers, and people call us, they text us, they send us letters. Matter of fact, thank you to Laura Michelle from Burlington, North Carolina, because she got extra visitor guides from us and returned them. She mailed them back to us. Oh. So Laura Michelle, you're fantastic, from Burlington. But people want information from us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, all the time they're asking us questions. And today, Katie Bundschu,
I can't wait.
You're helping us in the segment we call We Get Questions. Okay, you've been probably in our new visitor center in the Toscano Hotel.
I have been.
Okay, so
I'm so glad you guys moved in there.
It's a great spot.
Such good. So on brand.
So first question, someone came in and said, hey, I just left the barracks next door at Sonoma State Historic Park. I'm under the assumption that this is the first time the California flag had been flown with a bear and the 1 star was right here in Sonoma. So this person's like, is that true? The question is that true? The bear, the star, Sonoma. Is that
yes,
true?
It is true.
I mean,
because of the Bear Flag Revolt. And this is like why California is a state, is because the Bear Flag Revolt.
Bear Flag Revolt.
That's basically my Cliff Notes version.
And that's absolutely true.
Okay,
Did
good.
you go to 4th grade in California?
I did go to 4th grade.
So you learned that?
Yes.
Did you visit the mission?
I did visit the mission and did the mission project.
So there is, which one did you build? Did you build this one?
I think I had like one down. What's the one in just past Gilroy?
San Juan Bautista.
Yeah.
You did that one?
That's the one
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up down there, so that was a good one. There is a theory that it's not a bear, but it's a pear. Do you think it's the pear flag and we misheard it, and it's really the Lake County Agricultural Commission that wants us to eat more pears?
No.
Okay, thanks.
I do know that pears were a huge agricultural component to Sonoma Valley.
They were. You, San Giacomo family.
Yeah.
That whole area down there.
The whole area,
Lots of
definitely.
pears.
Well, and I know Placerville was like a big centralized location for pears.
Pear
like
land.
my grandfather would like drive pears up there.
Oh, he would?
Yeah.
To the old pear processing
So
plant?
I guess so.
Can you make pear wine?
I'm sure you can.
Pear brandy. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you can like infuse pear in wine too.
you could.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we learned something new today.
Totally.
Okay, here's another one. My husband and I visit Sonoma Valley every year. We're looking for recommendations for wineries with great Chardonnay. This is on Facebook. So do you know of any wineries that have Chardonnay?
I do, but then I feel like I'm calling them
don't
out.
say this.
Yes.
This is why I don't like buying wine in the store, because I feel like I'm going to bump into my neighbor and not have their wine in my cart.
Yeah.
And that's awkward.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm just trying out this other crappy stuff here. So
Or it's like, what other wineries do you recommend to visit?
this is hard. How about, do you want me to answer this one?
Sure, go ahead.
Because that way you're not on the spot.
Yeah, I can chime in, but
I should have asked a chocolate maker this question, not a wine.
yeah.
Almost every winery in Sonoma Valley has Chardonnay. I'm going to be clear. Almost.
That's copying out. That's like the easy answer.
There are so many great Chardonnays here. Okay, San Giacomo makes a good Chardonnay. They grow it down there, and they have a good Chardonnay down there. You guys have Chardonnay.
We do. We make a really
I
great
bet you the Gundlach Bundschu Chardonnay is fantastic.
I think it depends on the style of Chardonnay that you like.
Right.
That's what I would
Are you
reply.
an oaky? Are you a buttery?
I am neither. I like a
Sauv Blanc?
No, I like a little reductive Chardonnay that does go through full malo, but nothing that's too buttery or oaky. But there's the beautiful thing about Chardonnay to me is that it's a chameleon grape,
right.
And it can be kind of, unfortunately, whether you look at it, it's a good thing or bad thing, it can be manipulated and to kind of fit people's styles. And so I think it's dependent upon what style, if you do like something that's a little bit more heavy-handed on the oak or something that has a little bit more restraint and like kind of more old world style, that kind of leads you to different producers. And so San Giacomo is a great one. Yep. I know 3 Sticks.
3 Sticks is good Chard.
Aubert.
Yep.
I know Platt makes a Chardonnay.
Oh, yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah,
they're new here in Sonoma.
Yeah, he was on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So I haven't had their wines before, but.
Yeah, Chris, why don't you run a bottle of Chard over to Katie?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But Chardonnay's having a little bit of a renaissance.
It is. What happened?
Like wine, with some of my winemaker friends that they, every winemaker is a winemaker for their day job, and then they like start their own label on the side, their side hustle. And a couple of those people I know have been leaning into Chardonnay, and their Chardonnays are beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our friend Kara Morrison's a winemaker, not in Sonoma Valley, but she does get from the Lake Pier Vineyard down here.
Yeah.
So over at Sonoma-Cutrer. So that's Kara Morrison. And she also makes great Chardonnay, but if you're in Sonoma Valley, we have a lot of great options down here.
Totally. Yeah. So many. I mean, it's grown. It's the queen of wine.
Yeah. That's why I've been trying to get Kara on this podcast. But I had to figure out a Sonoma Valley angle.
Yeah.
We figured out, you got grapes from here? Come on.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do it. It is the queen of wine. Good for you. Okay. So you will drink Chardonnay.
I will. I think, I don't know, in my old age, my palate has changed. And I do enjoy Chardonnay a lot more than I used to. But maybe that's also because
Now that you're 29.
yeah, exactly. Now, maybe that's because also Chardonnay has changed from being so heavy oak-handed to a little bit more restrained.
It got really oaky for a while.
Yeah.
That was, good point. Yeah. Okay, here's another one, also via Facebook. I would love some recommendations on where to stay and which wineries to visit. I love semi-sweet and sweet wines. Where should I go? And they said, I want to stay in the region that has more sweet wines.
That isn't Sonoma Valley?
No,
or
anywhere.
It could
Just
be
like
anywhere.
Well, I mean, it could be Sonoma Valley, or do we have sweet wines?
Not that I know of. I don't know any. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
most-
you would.
Well, this is the trick with sweet wine, and this person I think is from the upper Midwest, which
Yeah.
is typically drinks sweeter. What you often will look for is later harvest wines, which almost every winery has that. Or you can ask them what the sugar content of the wine is. Some sparklings will have sweeter to them. If you go to Cy and talk to Jamie down there, she could probably find you some
Yeah.
sweeter wines. The trick with sweet wines, though, is that sometimes they're kind of hard to pair with food, right? And like if you drink a lot of it, you get that kind of like, ooh, this isn't going to be good. It's like schnapps.
Like you kind of might get a headache. You know what I also think is there's so many wine regions now.
Right.
And a lot of people are dabbling in making wine in some of those Midwestern regions, or even like North Carolina are making wines, and they tend to be sweeter, but they all have kind of their own little wine areas. I mean, Michigan does the Finger Lakes in New York, and I don't know, I've never been to the Finger Lakes. I would love to go. I know they make some sweet wines, some non-sweet wines, but like I think the more I travel around the country a lot, and I'm always surprised to see wine regions that you're just like, oh, okay, so they're making wine here. Cool.
And sometimes it's different grapes, and you're absolutely right. Ohio Valley has wines.
Yeah.
The Great Lakes region has wines. Sometimes their days don't cool off like ours. So correct me if I'm wrong, and I am. But as we have the diurnal effect, as it gets colder at night, it stops the sugar production in the grapes. The sugars tend to give you higher alcohol and also the sweetness.
Yep.
So the Midwest and places they don't cool off at night. So you get more sugar to build up.
That's very true.
So you can have sweeter wines by nature, and some of them have different types of grapes too, like the American muscadine and stuff like that. You can find sweeter wines here. We typically don't do a lot of them,
unless they're a dessert wine. But I don't know. Everybody always wants a dessert wine, but then when you make it, no one wants to buy it. So then, as a winery, you're stuck with dessert
sell them
wine.
in December, or people who want port. You're absolutely spot on. It's funny you mentioned.
Yeah.
But when we have that liquor store with the sticky vinyl floor, we're going to have a section for sweet dessert wines.
All right.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good.
It's going to be good.
Here's a question someone asked. Is fall a good time to visit Sonoma Valley?
Every season is a good time to visit Sonoma Valley.
Thank you.
So, I mean, and it's not because Tim is looking at me as the head of Sonoma County or Sonoma Valley Tourism, excuse me, but it truly is. I mean, it depends on what you want. Fall, of course, is the beautiful time in the valley, and it's where all the action is. But it's equally there's enough. I mean, it's a year-round agricultural, not product, but plant. And so there's different stages to learn about. There's always something going on in the vineyards. There's always something happening in Sonoma Valley. So fall is great, but I mean, winter, spring, summer, you name it.
All you got to do is call.
Yeah.
Come visit.
We're here.
Okay. I like that. That's good. Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Spring, mustard, right?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Winter, kind of like the quietness.
Dormant, quietness. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Someone walked into the visitor center and asked a visitor rep there, "This is such a beautiful place. Do you actually live here?" And the answer is yes, because they have to commute to work. So people do actually live here. And you were lucky enough to grow up here.
I was.
People, I think it's kind of like when you go to Hawaii, you're like, people can't live here.
That's how I was when I was in Nantucket. I was
Yeah?
like selling wine with this woman. And I was like, do people actually live here? And she was like, yeah, I grew up here. I'm like, get out.
Shut up.
And so it was
Yeah.
kind of similar to here. Yeah. I mean, we're so lucky.
Right. Did you get a lot of seafood out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that where like the the beach grandma vibe went? Like Diane Keaton, you wear like flowy stuff.
Oh,
and
like
you hang out-
Kafkins or
something like that. Yeah, it's a very East Coast thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
They all
sure.
go up there. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? That's a thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
But it's a similar vibe as like,
Yes.
do people actually live in
Is this
Nantucket?
real?
Is this
Right.
real?
Do you guys really have lobster everywhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We're
Yes.
sick of it.
I know.
If only we had some Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Question someone asked, is there a restaurant in Sonoma that has a special menu for dogs? Or any special treats for dogs?
I don't know.
That's a hard one. Do you have a dog?
I do.
Clearly you don't love it enough to take it out to eat.
No, I mean he's a 87-pound 2-year-old black lab.
Oh, that
So
thing is food motivated.
yeah, so no. However, I was in the UPS store,
Okay.
and the UPS store here in Sonoma gives treats out left and right to dogs.
Well done.
So
So there you go.
if you have to mail
Ship some wine home
ship
or
some
whatever.
wine home, exactly. But no, I don't know. I don't know if there's a special menu for dogs.
Yeah, I do know. So it's good point.
Yeah.
So Layla, which is at MacArthur Place,
Yeah.
they do have some special treats for your dog. You got to eat outside on the
Okay.
patio.
Okay.
Which makes sense. And then Pete's Coffee will have a
Yeah.
little treat for your
Yeah.
dog. And then Woof, which is the dog store. Allie had dog store, the the pet supply
Yeah,
store.
the pet supply store.
Right
Yeah.
next to Caddis Wines.
Yeah.
There's Allie over at Woof. She and Chris are always out talking
Yeah.
and debating many things. Wonderful store, and you can get treats there. Also, we have treats at the Toscana Hotel
You do.
because we wanted to be like the UPS store.
Yeah. Well, we also we are dog friendly.
Oh, you are?
Gundlach Bundschu.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
So we don't have a menu per se, but
Right.
definitely your dog would get a treat and some water.
Definitely.
But please keep them on a leash
Yeah.
because that sometimes doesn't always happen.
I don't know why people don't keep their
Yeah.
dogs on leashes.
Yeah.
And like I walk this trail that's a narrow trail, and on one side of it's a fence, and I see a dog off leash. I'm like, this is not going to end well for somebody,
I know.
and probably the dog
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah. So, but we love having furry friends.
That's cool.
Yeah.
On a leash.
Yes, on a leash.
And the final question we got, and you've been doing a great job.
Thanks.
You're really good at this.
Thanks.
What is the best way to convince a relative to move to Sonoma?
What's something like witty I could come up with?
It doesn't have to
It has nothing to do with you. You won't get a tax break.
No.
What is the best
You
way
know,
to?
how would you convince someone from Colorado
Yeah.
to move to Sonoma?
Well, I mean, you can get, if you decide to work part-time at wineries, most wineries give you an employee discount.
Which is
on
wonderful.
wine, which is, 50 to 55% off.
Oftentimes, open bottles also go home at the
Yep,
end of the day.
exactly. So there's a benefit.
about-
You can't miss the farmer's market,
Tuesday night market.
Tuesday night market.
Is there farmers at that market?
There are farmers at that
Where
market.
are they hiding after all the music and the dancing and the wine?
Aren't they hiding in the horseshoe? If you're looking for something for like a farmer's market sans music, then there's the Friday farmer's market.
That's right. That's a great one too.
That one. I mean, hello, like my nieces who live in Southern California and Texas, they brought all of their friends up for the 4th of July this year.
It is one of the
And
top
they couldn't
4th of
believe,
Julys.
like they couldn't believe the
It's
4th
ridiculous.
of July.
It's
like
it's so small town Norman Rockwell. You
yeah.
can't even.
So like just send them on the 4th of July and
Yeah.
they probably would want to
They'll
move here.
definitely want to move here.
Yeah. Like in fact, the number of people that I have heard in the last few years that have said, this is the reason why we moved to Sonoma
4th of July.
for the 4th of July. We used to come up here
Yeah.
all the time. And so we decided to move here.
It is epic. So, and that's absolutely it. And you know what I'd also say, if you have people who are moving from a cold place,
Yeah.
and you bring them here in February and March, and you're like, yeah, it's going to get 60 degrees today. It's going to be awful.
Totally.
And it's going to be like blue skies
Yeah.
and wildflowers.
Yeah.
And the farmer's market will only have, scallions and lettuce and,
Yeah.
a lot of produce. And they're like, are you joking? You're like, yeah, it's frozen where you are.
Totally.
And it's beautiful here.
It is. I mean, the weather, you can't beat the weather.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay. And then they can also join the wine club at Gun if they move here.
Yeah. I
they
mean,
can do it
and
at home,
then
too.
it's like their backyard. You can
Right
hang
there.
out there, right there.
Just go running right through. Just cut through the neighborhood.
Just cut through it, and then you get the
Drive-through.
discount on the wines. You can hang out. You can come to the Bacchus Club happy hours. You name it.
Music, all of the above.
Yeah.
Katie, you answered all the questions correctly.
I did.
You did.